All right, hey guys, Troy and Dale here from Hard Rock Rewind. Thanks again for tuning in for another reaction video. We're continuing with our series of Nightwish's 2013 performance at the Wacken Music Festival. Up to track number 4, that was Ghost River from their, I think it's 2011 album Imaginarium. So Dale, that album had Annette Olsen singing on that one. So that's from that album. I had heard that song before, actually. I totally forgot the title, but man, that intro riff, once again, dude, just like flawless performance, so much to talk about. I'll let you start with what you have on your mind.
Yeah, let me start. So obviously you would think I would start with the opening riff because that's a cool sounding riff, and I guess I will get back to that. But for me, her vocal performance, and it's not just that breakdown part, which it's kind of her and the keyboard, and she's in unison there, but it's the vocal melody counterpoint that she does through the second part of the choruses, where he's kind of driving the main vocal rhythm and the lyrics, and she's just providing this counterpoint melody that just kind of swims underneath what he's singing. And for me, that's like, I love it. Like, it's a lot easier to harmonize with a rhythm, and both rhythms are doing this, and the vocals are harmonized like that, and it's this real kind of building block way of harmonizing. What they're doing there is he's doing something completely different melody, different rhythm, and she's kind of providing this counterpoint vocal melody to the keyboard parts and the chord progression. And that was really, really interesting to me to hear that, because she's just so versatile. And so that was really interesting. That was something that I had not heard them do yet. So my ears pricked up when I heard that. I'm like, that's really interesting. It's something they continued and carried out throughout the whole song. So obviously that's a feature of the song as it was written and recorded, I dare say. I haven't heard the recording, but just to hear that performed live by her with her voice, man, that was super intriguing to me. And again, it's just another tool they have in their tool belt that they can rip out, at will whenever they need it. And that just sounded really, really cool. Like that element of that performance was really cool to me. It stood out.
That intro riff is so cool. And what I love about that intro when they use it again throughout the song, he'll do that, and so and then the first part's like they're driving the bass and the keys are sort of like holding on one or two chords underneath, But then when it does the second time through, and it does this like, it's very classically sounding chord progression, like
modulation.
Boom, boom, boom. It's like this diatonically perfect kind of, I don't know what progression is. It's not like a 2-5-1 or something, but it's something diatonic that's sounding very classical, changes underneath that. It sounds awesome. And it just sounded really, really cool. Marco, again, man, that guy's voice, phenomenal. And I don't know if you pick it up, man, but he is a great bass player. For the lines that he does while he's singing is like crazy, man. He's not just doing like one, still on the root note, whatever. He's doing these amazing lines. And he's got an interesting way of holding the pick, man. I'm not sure if you notice it. I'm not sure if I can get in the camera. I mean, most dudes playing guitar, they're sort of doing like that. But he does that sort of like, he holds the pick with the two fingers and kind of just does the wrist sort of way. Really interesting. But man, once again, I mean, he's just flawless. And once again, as I've said, each song is so different. It's so different, and so there's nothing boring about watching this at all. There's nothing that's the same. I mean, aside from it's just heavy and symphonic metal, but everything is so interesting. It's like, oh, that's a great, riff. That's an amazing vocal line. Oh, that's really cool accent. Man, it just gets better and better, And
it does, yeah.
Once again, each time at the end of the song, it's just like, what do you say? It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Just to get back to your Marco point that you made about how obviously he's holding it down vocally, and he's like, I dare say, like a co-front person or a co-singer.
Yeah.
But he's also holding down like really complex and driving bass lines, right? And you don't get a lot of really talented vocalists who are also front people for their band who are also the bass player. There's very few that I can think of. Sting would be one of them, obviously. But for me, the other one would be Kip Winger.
Yeah.
who has just a tremendous voice.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, dude, like, phenomenal performer, awesome voice, classically, trained as well.
Mm.
But when you see him play bass, like you don't, yes, he's the bass player, but you don't really give much thought or credence to the fact that he's playing some really complex stuff as well under
Yeah.
what he's singing, which is quite complex also.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there are very few people like that around, right? And so when you see somebody like Marco doing what he's doing, and again, it takes me back to the 80s where I have this kind of late 80s, early 90s mindset, and a lot of the bands I've listened to growing up. And yeah, Kip
Yeah.
Winger is somebody who stands out to me as somebody who, phenomenal bass player, probably equally, if not better, vocalist. And yeah, and with that classically trained background as well. So yeah, man, it's just, there are a lot of parallels between things that I'm seeing and hearing with this performance that are taking me back to my youth when I was growing up that I really, really like about this. And yeah, it kind of makes you reflect, and that's what's really, really cool about music and hearing things for the first time, because you hear things in it that you're like, man, that's it kind of reminds me of this, or it reminds me of that time, and it transports you back. So I'm getting a lot of that from this, which is really, really cool, because I'm big on that, as you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
All
so
the
for me,
nostalgic vibes.
yeah, and it's like it could just be like, it could be Ample doing the those kind of pinch harmonics,
Yeah.
through that kind of bridge part there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I get Zach Wild vibes from that. I'm getting Kip Winger vibes from kind of Marco a little bit. I'm getting
Yeah.
Malmsteen vibes from the composition and the keyboard
Yeah.
sounds. And so I'm like, there are all these elements that I grew up with that I'm
Yeah.
linking to this band inadvertently, but are making me
Yeah.
enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah. Dude, and
cool.
also, man, like, I would love to be in a room. I know Thomas, I think, pretty much predominantly writes like most of it, but like you would obviously have to have some input from the other guys for their parts and stuff. I would love to see a writing session and how these guys go about writing the tunes, and how they let's maybe throw a key change in here, or let's do this accent, or let's put this riff, how it all comes together. The vocal melodies, like they're so different. They don't sit on the one chord progressions or similar melodies as maybe other bands do. There's a pattern, but like these guys are it's so different. It'd be fascinating to watch them write a song. It really would be, for sure.
Yeah, look, they're not playing it safe. There's a lot to be said about playing it safe and just kind of getting by, and being good enough to just go out there and do a show with kind of basic tunes and so forth. They're definitely not playing it safe. And I'd be curious to see, like, are these writing sessions ruled with an iron fist? Is it one person dictating everything that goes on, and or does everybody have equal input or singular input about their part, like you said? And I dare say there are people out there that know the answer to these questions, and so you need to let us know in the comments.
Yes, absolutely.
How they go about writing their tunes. Yeah, you guys would have some insight into this. Obviously, I haven't looked into it at all. So yeah, let us know, like, what is the deal with their songwriting process? How does it work? Are there videos that you can link in there that we can go and watch where they discuss this kind of stuff as well? So yeah, guys, help us out. We are but two people.
If any of the Nightwish Army have direct access into that tight little circle of theirs, please let us know in the comment section. We'd love to know. Absolutely. So once again, guys, thanks again for joining us on this review video. We're loving doing it, loving the interaction we're getting on the comments. And once again, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. We love all the new subscribers we're getting. Once again, our aim is for 10K at the end of the year, so hopefully you can help us out with that. And we will catch you on the next reaction video of theirs. Catch you soon.
See you guys.
Real